One, want to start off souls by giving all praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Kadash. Double honors to the apostles of great millstone, and honors to brothers doing the work of the Most High in truth and in sincerity. Yahweh's real name, with whom the world English calls God, Jehovah, or Yahweh. His real name is Yahweh. His son's true name is Yahweh Shai. And when we pray Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, meaning in, her meaning that, and Sham, meaning names Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai. Real quick, ain't gonna speak too much on it. But I've just basically been, with the latest Chat GPT update, I was taking, pictures of my house and I'm passing it through. It was like, put together some, interior design stuff for me. And, I'm not gonna lie, some of the stuff was really good. Some of the stuff was hella good. It gave me some inspiration, just to make the house, feel a bit nice. I'm here a lot, so I was just like, let me, see if there's anything that I can kind of do, right? But then we kind of got into my, my desk area, where I do most of my work and stuff. Right, I've cropped out some of, some of this, the top of the blackboard. Had some personal stuff on there, and even in the image we're about to generate, something hella spooky was generated at the top of this thing here, right? But if you just look at what's written, you see visited, hopefully tax, deadline and stuff like that, and some, video ideas and, things of that nature, right? So, one of the things I've been meaning to more like, was trying to work out, when I was going to go, see my dad, not seen him really since I was a young man, well, even a young man since I was very, very little, right? He's not in the UK. So I was just kind of, trying to analyze, work out, when, if the spirit allows, when the best time would be to go see him, right? So that's just something that's, recently over the last couple of weeks been in my mind. It's like, this is something I actually got to do, right? So all of that backstory to then show, this, right? So this was what was generated after the fact. Past it, I said, hey man, make this interior, make this more nice, right? And then I'd passed it, I'd done like other rooms, and the other side of, of this thing, right? But what do you see there, right in the middle, slap bang in the middle, right? Visit dad, right? The other language, other text is dodgy, right? But that there you see, visit dad, right? And I forget exactly when this was. Let me just compare. If I look at the date of when this was created, this was Saturday. So I think I did it on Friday, right? And I believe that was also the day that Apostle Tahar, or maybe that was a day before, but I wasn't aware of that video at the time. Base Apostle Tahar was talking about how this AI's technologies are spirits, man. Right. So yeah, I just found that spooky. But it just kind of shows you, that these things that we say, is true, right? But yeah, man, as Apostle Gabar said, right, we got to honor our father, right? Even the way I typed it in, really, it's honor thy father and mother, right? Because this world puts an emphasis on the woman, right? That's not to say the woman hasn't got a role in the world. Yes, she does, but her role, is beneath that of the man, right? This is 1 Corinthians 11 from verse 3. So, but I would have you know that the head of every man is Mashiach, and the head of the woman is the man, and the head of Mashiach is the Most High. Okay, so that's the heavenly order, right? Not none of this nonsense that we see in this world today, right? It's Jeremiah 31:22. It says, how long will thou go about, O thy backsliding daughter? For the Lord hath created a new thing in the earth, a woman shall compass a man. Right, and that's no more pushed than in Babylon the Great. Right, that's that real beacon, right, of woman worship. Right, because this is the thing. It's like in other parts of the world, it ain't so. Right, other parts of the world, even the first world, as Esau likes to call it, even other parts of the first world, women aren't really, not aren't pedestalized, right, as much as they are here, right. I'm just verifying something, right. But even in what do you call it? Even in 'cause I know quite a bit about South Korea, like even there, and I'm not talking about North Korea, not talking about Kim Jong Un's North Korea, but even South Korea, places like that, right? Women are second class citizens, right? Now I may not be official, but it's certainly something that is felt, right? It ain't like in America, right? So that's why the apostles always say, that we've been in the West too damn long, right? So this is Exodus 20 and 12. It says, honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which Yahweh thy power giveth thee. Right. So once again, in what's the word I'm looking for? In in Western society, it's always honor to the mother, right? But we can't neglect our fathers, regardless of what it is, that they have that they may or may not have done. Okay. But yeah, I mean that's pretty much the point, right. Like I said, I wasn't going to speak too much on that, but once again, you see here, right, and this, even in this section up here, that was spooky as hell, right. That was hella spooky, right. With what happened up here, but because this is the thing as well. It's like I tried generating this several times, right, and different times it just kept doing weird shit, right. And then basically I was like, let me leave that, let me do the other wall, right. And then that generated like a nice image and everything. But what this was kind of like a last ditch, was like, let me just try one last time to see whether I can get a good image. And what do you see, right? Visit dad. So if the spirit wills, that's what one thing I'm gonna have to do. But yeah, honor thy father and mother. And yet hopefully this was edifying. Till next time, say shalom.